Mela! Dandavat devotees of the Lord. We are here in Govinda Mela 2024. And now is a family affair. Let's talk about our devotional family. Welcome Jairam and family. Prabhu to the stage. And Sudarshan Prabhu for a double feature. Jai!
Govinda, Govinda.
We are really happy to see you here.
Mercy.
And I'm going to pass the microphone for you guys. So I heard you're going to start with some kirtans. Do you want to tell us what you're going to sing first?
Absolutely. We're going to start with an offering to Sri Guru, because without Sri Guru, we are lost. So we're going to start by offering obeisances and asking for mercy from Sri Guru. Sri Guru Charan Padma. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Advaita Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Vando Mui Savadhana Mate. Vando Mui Savadhana Mate. Sahara Prasade Bhai E Bhavatari Ajay. Sahara Prasade Bhai E Bhavatari Ajay. Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha Hoyte. Prapti Hoy Jaha Hoyte. Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Aika. Guru Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya. Arona Kori Hamane Asa. Arona Kori Hamane Asa. Arona Kori Hamane Asa. Arona Kori Hamane. Shri Guru Charane Rati Say Say Uttamagati. Shri Guru Charane Rati Say Say Uttamagati. Jai Prasade Pure Sarva Asha. Prasade Pure Jai Prasade Pure Sarva Asha. चक्षुदाना दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से।
भीष्ट सपूरकं गुरुगणैराशीष सम्भूषितं चिंता समस्त वेद निपुणं श्री रूप पंथानुगम गोविंदाभिधम उज्ज्वलं वर्धन भक्त्यन्वितं सुंदरम वंदे विश्वगुरुं च दिव्य भगवत प्रेमणो ही बीज भगवान साष्टांग दंडवत प्रणाम to all the Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, devotees serving at the lotus feet of Gurudev, Param Guru Maharaj, and to all our friends, well-wishers at this wonderful transcendental Govinda Mela, all the visitors and everyone else, Hardik Namaskar and welcome. Very happy to be here in this divine family of Gurudev amongst all our God brothers, God sisters and everyone else, and find it really like extreme sort of mercy to land up here. But very inspiring discussions, very inspiring discourses. And just before us, we had Sudarshan Prabhu with his divine family, and I don't know who was Munindra Mohan Prabhu also. They were both discussing and very wonderfully sharing with everyone some finer points and some divine discussions about Sri Gita with the vision of our line. The sweet absolute rather than merely just the absolute. So there is the difference right there. So I'm myself was for a little period of time not keeping well and for various reasons, and was just kind of going over in my head like how unfortunate I can't see the devotees, I can't. And although being with the family, I was discounting that, well, they're near and dear ones, and how can any discussion happen with these people? They're like kids, and they're so anyway, it was and then Lavanya Sundari started to talk about her college and discussions that she's having with other people, young people, and regarding social justice and this equality for all. I said there are very, very wonderful, very nice, wonderful discussions. And so also learned that somehow when people said religion, or specifically Sanatan religion, then they were sort of not very friendly, and they were saying, well, this is stratified and this is a conception that's like from the dark ages, and, not very nice. There's hierarchy, and only the top people, they get to say and do everything, and the people at the bottom are really, who cares? So it's oppressive and should be done away with, something like that. So that set me thinking about the time in India when I was growing up, and I had no idea about, although in our home, at our altar, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Ramcharitmanas, these were worshipped, and these were, but I never got to read any of these in terms of the like the deep understanding or the purports or conclusions. So academically, in terms of just reading the Sanskrit, maybe, but the sandhi, matra, and things like that, but hardly understanding anything. So I remember someone coming to me and saying, "Look, this is a verse, and your God is saying that He's stratifying everyone, the society at large, and He's saying these are lower people, and these are in fact deplorable people, very bad people." Papa Yoni. So it says in chapter 9, verse 32. Hare Krishna, Dandava Tarun Prabhu. So we were, then I said, Lamanaga, let's look at this verse, because they showed me this verse and I really did not have an answer because I understood what was being said. And it sure, on the face of it, looked like not pretty. So the verse, if you remember, is Yo hi mam hi partha vyapashrita ye pisyu papayoneya vaishya striyo shudra satha te pyanti param gatim. And that is the verse, which happens to come right after the two verses that are the 30 and 31 they are the ones that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually ended up discussing with higher beings, the likes of Lord Brahma and Shiva, and explaining to them the inner meaning. Chipram bhavati dharmatma shashya chantim nigacchati kaunte pradijani name bhakta pranashati. That's 31, and then one before that. But anyway, so this verse is saying, what they were explaining to me, he's saying Papa Yoni, and look, it's saying Striya, Vaishya, Shudra, they're all Papa Yoni, and not Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. Why is it? It's not mentioning them. So it's putting them at the top, and rest of them, they're saying Papa Yoni. This is your God, this is your conception. Anyway, I didn't understand at that time. I really had no answer. And I was like, and then I tried to find out, but wasn't satisfied. But then, fast forward to when we were discussing, and I said, Lavaniga, let's look at this verse. What is he really saying? Now we are going to apply not our vision. We are going to apply the vision of our acharyas by the grace of Srila Govinda Maharaj. We get entrance into that, and we will apply those lenses. And we were having this conversation. And when she read the verse, she says, yeah, that's what it says like. That's what it sounds like. First off is just that part that it says, even while he's making those different compartments, so he says one is Papyoni, which is Yavanas, Chudras, and Yavanas, Chandalas, and the people who are outside Varnashram, number one. That is the first category. That does not refer to Stri or Vaishyas or Shudras, because all of them are within Varnashram. They are part of the system, a Varnashram system. So how can they be like the untouchables? No. Secondly, I said you have to see what he is saying. Krishna is right now talking to, at a certain time, the degraded mentality of humanity, where they already have that. They already have those compartments built. Like, look what happened to Draupadi. Is that how women are treated in Sanatan society? Before that episode, never. It was unheard of. So the degradation had gotten to a level where in people's minds, our minds, we already have that. So what he is saying is, who you think as the untouchables, as Stri, who you think are lower, to the Shudras, who you think are your servants or whatever, and to the merchants, te piyanti param gatim. Which means, as the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas think it is their proprietary property to reach param gatim, which is the ultimate destination, the untouchables can too. So, even if you think that there is papyuni, better believe that by his word, what he is saying is, te piyanti param gati. So in terms of that highest being available to the lowest, it is. That is the import of that verse in reality. That you may think that it is stratification in a hierarchical way. That is erroneous to start with. But be that as it may, still the highest and the most coveted destination, the most subtle destination is available to all these. So, as he says that I am available to all. And so, that was very satisfying. And then I said, now let's apply more lens. So there's more lenses, right? So it's, well, saying is something. Where do we see something like this happen? Can you say? And then we were thinking, and then I go, something comes to me, then we discuss. I said, this verse comes. I said, do you remember the context of this verse and what this verse means? It's from Bhagavatam. In context of the verse that we did, I said, Aho bakiyam stanakala kutam jigham saya payana prasadavim leve gatim dhatriuchitam leve gatim dhatriuchitam kammadayalam sharanam vrajam. So this is a verse in Bhagavatam. It is a conversation that is going on between Uddhava and Vidura. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, if you remember the episode of Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Mahasaya, Gadadhar Pandit in his younger days was very enthusiastic to meet with Vaishnavas, exalted Vaishnavas. And so Mukunda one time said, hey, you want to meet someone? Someone's in town. And he said, sure. And Mukunda took him to Pundarik Vidyanidhi. And Gadadhar Pandit, so again he had in his mental thing, he had how devotees are. They wear a tilak, they put on a simple dress, kuntimala, they put on several things, and they're always chanting, and they're always looking in such a way, they have shikha. But what he perceived in Mahashaya Pundarik Vidyanidhi was paradoxical. He saw finely cut hair, beautiful, like each measured, oiled, scented. He saw a beetle nut chewing on pan with like those, spittoons here and there, and clothes were silk. And, he saw like the chilam, the hookah, very fine. And so in his mind, he was like, a devotee? This? What is happening? So Mukunda, although Gadadhar Pandit didn't say anything, but intuitively, Mukunda understood what was going on in his mind. And at that juncture, he said this verse, Aho vakiyam stanakala kutam, jigam sayam, payanapya sadavim, which is basically referring to the demoness Putana, who was the worst of the worst. You can call her Papayoni. You can call her Papayoni.
Just not in a university.
And she was so horrible that she actually wanted to kill Krishna. She wanted to just kill him. Smeared her breast with poison, kalakut, not just ordinary poison, kalakut, which is one of the worst. And then came to kill him, but at that moment when she picked him up to take him in his lap, Krishna is so beautiful. He's the sweet absolute. She could not for a split second think, oh, this beautiful baby, and that motherly instinct took over for a split second. And then she still wanted to kill him. And Krishna took that and gave her the highest position, Param Gatim, like a mother. In Vrindavan. Kam vadayalum sharnam rajema. Who can be more munificent and liberal than this? And simply hearing that verse vibrate from Mukunda, this person, this personality, Pundarik Vidyanidhi, who was, showing himself to be like, we just saw that, high society and fashionable and all that, the inner substance took the outer form. It just took over, and he started ripping his clothes. And he basically just was completely, a transformation happened, and he kept repeating, and he went into a trance for I don't know how long. And he started rolling on the floor in front of them. So the transformation was so stark that Gadadhar Pandit, when he saw, he immediately realized just a mere mention of that verse and the highest harmony of harmonizing the lowest and the highest in such a way that all is beautiful, all is satisfied, and all is beautified, is only Krishna that can do that. And he could not keep his outer consciousness. His divine consciousness took over. So Krishna doesn't just say things, he actually does them. And so he has shown that. So with that one verse, we learned so much just talking to each other. That one little exchange, I think, was invaluable for me. And ultimately, it is mercy, by his mercy, by my Guru's mercy, that we were able to discuss that. And she felt so energized, I felt so energized, and we were all singing his glories. And that just happened. And Nanda Kishore, who is not like he's by himself, for himself kind of a person, he also came in and he's like, yeah, that is so nice. So he joined in too. That is really, in earnestness, if we study together, even if we begin with simple verses, we begin with verses or any point that we think is not that high or heavy, these are like little portals that just keep opening up doors and doors and doors and doors, and then we go in deeper and deeper and deeper. There are so many layers to this, so many facets, that it's unbelievable and it's unimaginable. So anyway, that was one of the verses that very recently just came and didn't seem that important, but in terms of being liberal, this is the extreme liberal situation. It's not just like ordinarily understood liberal. This is extreme. So when Gurudev says that we are extremists, that is an absolute kind of a statement. We are extremely liberal, not just like, well, yeah, okay, I'll permit this, but no. It's like absolutely liberal. So the purport of that is only understood with some surrender and sangha. You've heard that statement, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. What is the next part? Do you know? Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami. And then finally, Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. So in our line, what does Buddha mean? Tanamayato Buddha Vijayatatam. Tells us to go to the Buddhas. Buddha means those who are aware of the fact of what the situation is. And they are desperately and madly in search of reality all the time, irrespective of day and night, irrespective of sleep or awake. They are searching madly, not casually. It's not a casual search. Madly searching. Those are Buddha. We are told to go to those. And then it says, Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami. Must take Sharan of Dharma. What our ideals are, that is our Dharma, and we must embrace them. And we must surrender to that, because Sharan, ashram comes from ashraya, and then Sharan is to actually take Sharan. Is to take ashraya, surrender. So it's a sweet surrender. And then Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. That yes, I surrender to Sangha. The Sangha that I will get by going to the Buddha and following Dharma, the prescriptions, then I will get Sangha. And then I will surrender to Sangha too. That is the purport. And that is how far that we can go simply picking up Bhagavad Gita. As the previous speakers here were saying, that you can read the Bhagavad Gita by itself, but like I said, we have been given lenses, these various lenses that give us that fine theistic intelligence. Why don't we put those on, and then in appropriate Sangha, then we pick up these glorious literatures, and then we try to dive in deep. Then we will notice all waves are favorable. With that harmony, with the kind of harmony that we see the lowest being put at the highest in such a wonderful way. Dandavat Nyasi Maharaj. Nyasi Maharaj. Ki Jai. I am very junior to you, Maharaj. Please.
That's very relative.
Hare Krishna. Um, so the, when we see that that harmonizing capacity of Krishna that we have, of the sweet absolute, that's what makes it sweet. Otherwise, it is absolute is realized in three phases. Vadanti tattavidas tattam yaj jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdate. Srimad Bhagavatam gives us this, that the absolute is realized in three phases. Brahmeti, Brahma is first, or Brahman, then Paramatma, finer substance, and then the finest exclusive, the sweet absolute, Bhagavan iti shabdate. When you hear in Bhagavad Gita words like Prabhu or Ishwar, they are referring to either Brahman or Paramatma. But when he says Aham Sarvasya Prabhava, that is from the sweet absolute, not any other. He says Aham means first. That is the first person. First person always means Krishna himself. Ete chamsa kala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So Shri Bhagavan Vach. It doesn't say Shri Ishwar Vach. Ishwaratva means dominion ultimately. Dominion of, you can have of all the worlds, of one world, or. But Bhagavan is the sweet absolute, the one and only. Adi Purush. Govindam Adi Purusham. So we go in that way when he says na kartattam na karvani lokasya sreti prabhu vibhu. Those words he refers as to his expansions, and unlimited. So he says vibhu, prabhu. But they're all coming ultimately from Mani Ganaya. Everything rests on him. Everything rests on him. How is he realized? From the point of view of Brahman, Param Brahma. He says, Param Brahma Param Dham Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashwatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. That is Bhagavan. So he's Param Brahma. Brahmano hi pratisthaham. First person for Brahman. All the Ishwaratta, the all-inclusive, everything rests on he, first person. From there it comes. And he is Purush. Purushottam. Uttam Purush. First, that is Bhagavan. So, when he says anything other than first person himself, Sri Bhagavan Vach, then he is talking about expansions of expansions of expansions, and like that, or his potencies acting in all the worlds. So he will use specific words. He will use Ishwar, like that. And very beautiful verses were discussed. Rasauham apsau kaunteya prabhasmi shashisuryo. I am the taste of water. From the light of the sun and the moon, you can know me. Very beautiful. So, but in Sangha, with the lenses on, and some sadhus blessing, like Nasi Maharaj is here and other devotees are here, they are our guardians, and if we have their, by their presence, they're giving their blessing, then it is very legitimate, it is very good, it is authorized. So like that we discuss, and we can go on as a family, and this divine family can proceed to the Param Gatim. So sometimes what is in the future versus what is now, by perception that will seem improbable, and only what is now will seem real. It is quite the opposite for the real seers. But the one who sees, like Govinda Maharaj will say, you're all already free. You're already liberated. Why would he say that? He would not say that if it wasn't 100% true. Because he sees the potential as reality, whereas we are seeing this relativity as reality, which amounts to nothing at all. Yanisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati sanyami. So, like that, if we study Bhagavad Gita and if we study about Krishna's heart, then we will finally find a very fine vision. We will come to some understanding. We understand by and large it's a large audience. He's trying to accommodate everyone, and then he's giving some gradation. When he says yoginam api sarvejam, before that he says, what did he say? Karmi bhayo dhiko yogi, jnani bhayo pi mato dhiko. Then he says, the yogi is higher than the karmi. Karmi is the lowest, and then he gives this gradation. But he says that yogi of all yogis, tasmad yogi bhavarjuna, and he says tasmad yogi bhavarjuna. Then he says yoginam of the yogis, then that yogi is the finest. Madgatena antaratmana. Madgatena antara. Who is thinking of? Not Vibhu, not Prabhu, not Ishwar, not Paramatma. Is thinking of Madgatena antaratmana. Bhagavan, the sweet absolute, who has him in his vision. And that yogi, to me, in my opinion, is the highest. Now it is up to you whether you agree with me or not. That is up to you. Please, yathechasi tatha kuru. So what you are, however your propensity drives you, you do that. So for Arjuna, that is always the Khatri. He is the Khatri by his propensity, not by how he was born. Karna was born to society as an outside of society. But was he really? No, he is a first-class Khatri. That is the reality of Varnashram, Daiva Varnashram, which our line suffered, physically suffered, trying to make people understand in Bharatvarsh, and literally they were chased and they were stoned because they were reformers. They were reformers of society, so therefore they were chased away, and they had to struggle so much. So the level of misconception is such that what is right will seem wrong, and what is wrong will seem very wonderful. That is our existence, unfortunately, because our vision is reversed. When he says, Bhayam dvitiyani bhesatasyad ishad apetasya viparrayo. So ishad apetasya, the moment from the center you disconnect yourself by your propensity, then asmriti, and then bhayam, you're full of anxiety, then you welcome to this anxious, wonderful world. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam, that we think that we made it. Those who make a lot of money, they think that we made it, we're successful. So our idea of success, misconception. Idea of reality, misconception. Everything is misconceived. And on top of that, we have a jungle of conceptions. So does that compound the problem a little bit? Yes, it does. So it's a jungle of conceptions that we live in and we survive in. And then without the telescopic vision that is given to us, without the Sangha that is given to us, without our guardians, it is difficult to navigate by ourselves. So that is how we engage. And those who put programs like this, Anandamoyi, and anyone who gets inspired to do this, they're blessed. they're blessed because they're helping themselves and they're helping fellow jivas. They're the real liberals. We need to follow them. And in fact, they're extreme liberals. They will take up the weapons of mass devotion like at no notice. So we need to follow them because they are telling us that the world is our family. Literally, they're saying the world is our family. Govinda Maharaj always said that even to immigration, why are you here? And he says, to visit family and friends. Anywhere he went, he would say that. And that was not lip service, he meant it. So, anyway, very happy to be here and amongst you, being blessed by you. We continue our journey. And if there's anything, any basic and simple questions, then I'd be very happy to try and answer by the grace of Guru Gauranga. But, sir.
Do you have a favorite verse of Bhagavad Gita? It's a rough question. So it can be like top 5 if you need.
Manmana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me. That verse Param Guru Maharaj put at the back cover of the printed version, and for this reason that Krishna is revealing his heart, even for why revelation, because it says revelation, and those who are of fine theistic intelligence will understand revelation, then they will go, in what mood? Why are you revealing? And so he is answering that. When he says, worship me, come to me, surrender to me, bow down to me, and I tell you this is true, I'm telling you this, understand this from the bottom of my heart. Why? Because you are very dear to me. Not out of ego. So all these times when he tries to say, bow down to me, he says that twice actually. This verse, first part is repeated twice. But this version that Guru Maharaj put is the finest because Krishna is telling a jiva pretty much that I love you. Huh? So that is my that is the verse that gives me the mood of why is he revealing all this to me? What is the purpose? It could be a nefarious purpose of like, if you worship me, then I scratch my back and you scratch mine and we'll do this and conduct this business. But what is his business? His business is simply to exchange feelings of affection, heartfelt affection from fallen and ordinary people. That is his purpose. How kam vadayalum sharanam rajema? How can anyone be more munificent than that? And Mahaprabhu, when he descends, Ananda Leela Maya Vigrahaya, He Maha Divya Chavi Sundaraya, Tasmaya Maha Prem Rasa Pradaya, Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. That his every movement is of that. Where he says Priyosime, and Mahaprabhu even takes a step, it is in that direction. Anandam Mudivardhanam. Every step he takes is emphasizing the fact why I am here, what is my relation to you, and cherishing that very relationship. with each and every one. So this is sum and substance of Sankirtan and his descent. Munificent more than him? Never. And since the beginning of time, no one as anarpita charim chirat karunnaavatirna kalau samarpaitum unnattojjala rasam swabhakti shriyam hari purata sundar duti kadamba sandipita sadardaya gandhare spuratav sachinandana. That is his benediction and blessing to all of us. And we think like, okay, let's prepare conceptions. He himself has descended. He himself descends.
I have another question.
Go
I'm so
already,
bad.
go already, go. Hare Krishna.
Sometimes we find ourselves in an abyss. Do you feel like some particular instructions of Gurudev or Guru Maharaj are like the anchor to, or like the North Star to carry on?
Bhuma uskalit padanam bhumi reva avalambanam. He says, don't be afraid to proceed even if you fail. Falling or failing is the same thing. Don't be, just because you think you will fall, you will not attempt, you will become stagnant. No, acceptance and rejection constantly is my real dharma, my religion. If I stick to what I have today and do not have the heart tomorrow to be able to say what I knew yesterday was not adequate, then I do not know Rupanuga line. So he says, Bhuma uskalit padanam bhumi reva avalambanam. Tvai jata paradanam tvaev sharanam prabhu. That is the go juice.
Probably most people don't know what that means. The ground that you fell upon is the same ground.
So it says bhumi. Bhumi is, we know it as, in this three-dimensional space. Bhumi is what we walk on, is the ground that we walk on. So bhumo skalit padanam. If you trip if you take a step that you're not supposed to, or if you step on something and if you trip, what's the worst that will happen? You will fall on the ground. Bhumo skalit padanam, you will fall on the ground. And with the help of the same ground, how will you get up? You will take the help of that ground and you will correct yourself. The same infrastructure that has somehow landed you in this position, that you are falling flat on the ground, use that same infrastructure to correct your position and to stand tall. Again, that is a soldier. That is the message to a soldier. You never surrender and you never give up in this line. You always go. I mean, surrender to the outer forces. When talking about this, it is giving us external situation. Bhumo skalit padanam bhumi reva avalambanam. Why? And why do I have to correct myself? Why can't I just lay there? Because my goal and my destination is only you. My Lord, my sweet Lord. I have no other focus. I have no other things to achieve. I only have your lotus feet. So it says, Toi jata paradhanam, Tvamev means exclusively. Tvamev sharanam Prabhu. And in your, you are my ultimate destination. I will ultimately take shelter of your lotus feet. So every time that we're down and out, at least myself, I think of this, and that becomes a shot of adrenaline. I was like, no, we'll do it. We'll overcome this and we'll keep going.
But like, what amazing hope that we fall on the ground. We're on the ground. But that's also good. Like we can't, Krishna won't let us escape him. We're down, we're up, we're down. Krishna's always there. What an amazing thing, huh?
That's what Sudarshan Prabhu said. That verse that Param Guru Maharaj always used to repeat. Anai kalyan krit kaschit durgatim tat gacchati naiveha namutra vinashastasya vidyate. Either in this life that you can see, or I can see, that's my vision, that's how I'm limited to. Even in next life, I will take care of it. That is his word. Naiveha namutra vinashastasya vidyate. They will never come to ruination. I will be there to always make sure that you all. He can use anything that exists to reach you, me, all of us. He can use anything. Everything is at his disposal. When he say everything comes from him, yes, everything does come from him, and he can use anything and anyone to come and remind me that you have to do this and do this. And the best is I have Govinda Maharaj. I try to have Govinda Maharaj in my heart as my guru, and that for sure I know. If Krishna, not for me, at least for Govinda Maharaj, he will surely come. So I'm tricking him, tricking the trickster. That where will you go? By himself and for himself. But I know you will circle around. And Govinda Maharaj will give me that lens that I will be able to spot somehow, somewhere. I will be able to tell. But not with the eyes of the flesh. We cannot see that. That's why he says, Janma karma chamay divyam. My activities, my pastimes are of not this nature that you're thinking by your eyes of the flesh. You're seeing this like manifest temporal reality that you think is all in all. This is nothing. Janma karma chamay divyam is of a different nature. Evam yaveti tattvata. Someone who understands this perfectly. Taktava deham punar janma nayeti mameti sarguna. Like that we understand. Then after giving up your this life, your body, taktava deham, give up this day, the occupier, dehi, you will come to me in person, first person, to Bhagavan. That is the. So not to the all comprehensive Brahman, not to the all pervasive Paramatma, but to the all exclusive Bhagavan, from whom Paramatma and Brahman emanate. You will go to that source. That is the supreme. Personality of Godhead. That is the sweet absolute. So that is only Krishna, and He is giving that to us. So we can harmonize all conceptions, understand that they're bona fide or not, and happily compare and things like that. But when it comes to what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his line is giving, it's very exclusive. And we know him like that with Sangha. And by grace, by some grace, we are given some vision, and then we are able to see. Otherwise, it is not possible. No one can claim. Who am I? With that, I'm very happy to be of some service to Sri Nasi Maharaj and all of you. Please, if you have any questions, it looked like Rai Kishori Didi gave me the list of questions before, but that was not the case. I did not have the list of questions.
I think Arun Prabhu had a question.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, he has a very serious question.
Which shloka from Bhagavad Gita starts on Prema Bhakti?
Well, there are
After all the
Prema Bhakti.
toward Prema Bhakti.
So the 4 shlokas, there are 4 Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, starting with Sarvasya Prabhava Matta Sarvam Pravartate Iti Matva Bhajante Mam Buddha Bhav Samanvita. That is where we find that Buddhi, the people who are using like knowledge and who are cultivating all of that, they develop bhav, or they develop the real feeling, and the transcendental feeling of rag. That starts to develop. We are told like that, and there are 3 other verses after that that go in detail. Madchitta madgat prana jay madchitta madgat prana bodhayant parasparam kathayantascha mam anityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So here raman comes also, it adds on. And then it says tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhiyo yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. So here this upayanti, or sort of going over scriptural jurisdiction, and that completely following raga bhakti. It's called Jnana Shunna Bhakti. This is like that, Upayanti te, in its highest, which is the Adi Rasa. So that is given here. And then Tesham evanukampartham maham ajnanajam tamah nasham atma bhavasto jnana deepena bhasvata. These are the 4 verses that you will find that is given in Bhagavad Gita, and the commentary also by Param Guru Maharaj explains that in detail, and those verses. So that's the other. In other places it is mentioned, like Raj Vidya Raj Guhyam Pavitram Midam Uttamam Pratakshava Gayam Dharmayam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. It's mentioned that in Bhakti Yoga chapter 9, that the verse that we started with, the beginning of that chapter is this verse. The first verse is like, so now Bhakti Yoga, like all other yogas, the chapter 9, which is sort of like the middle. So that's, in terms of secrecy, that's the most secret. So he's giving Raj Vidya, this is the king of all knowledge. Raj Guhyam, Guhya means secret, and Raj means the king of all secrets. Pavitram, it's completely pure. Uttamam, Uttama, above this darkness, so it's of a higher nature, not dealing with the 3 modes. Uttamam, and Pratakshavagamam Dharmayam. Dharmam, we keep understanding what is dharma, what is this. It'll Pratyakshavagavam Dharmam, it will show you what your duties are. Like Pratyaksha, with this vision, it will show you. You don't have to go in a trance to imagine or to do anything. You will see Pratyakshavagavam Dharmayam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. And in terms of being able to do it, because if you're a yogi, you have to control the mind, and to control the mind, Arjuna was saying it's like impossible for me, and if it's impossible for Arjuna in that period, I don't know. I mean, situation is pretty rough right now. We can easily say that. So he's saying, Susukham Kartum Avyayam, he's saying very easily you can execute these. We are given what to do, what not to do. If we read Upadeshamrita, so we are given, and Susukham Kartum Avyayam, very easily done. So like that, bhakti here and there, he's giving man mana bhav. First thing he says, man mana bhav. That is rag bhakti, like that. So he's giving, although he's giving all these things, but he's saying man mana bhav. You can only do that if you have love for someone. Otherwise, as a duty, you cannot think of someone all the time. Right? It's not duty. Some memories come to you only if they are dear to you. Maybe your parents, maybe anyone that is dear to you, your children, or your wife, or your whatever. But they have to be dear to you, is what I'm trying to say. And so when we talk bhav bhakti always means that dearness or that closeness, not scriptural duty, because that duty that's like a binding duty. Laws. When we say law, then law again, law of the land, or it's referring to it's relative. So some coordinates, which means it has like an end and a beginning, and beyond that there's different laws. So, but when we say bhav bhakti, then it's automatic. Not only you wake up in the morning and then you put water like this, you chant these verses, you go here and then do this. Mahaprabhu is coming before waking up and saying, Jagannath Prasadam. So would you tell him to wait, please? Let me do my duties and then I will accept it? Or will you accept it? And break all those things. He's telling Yudhishthir, you go tell Drona Ashwatthama's dead. Now, if he's saying, no, wait a minute, let me analyze that I have never spoken a lie in my life, so now I have to kind of process this. Why? Because he is the sweet absolute. He is the ultimate truth. And if he is telling you to relatively lie, that's a service. So, again, we have to understand all of this. Without proper lenses, our minds, as it is, they're in misconception, they're bound to play tricks. So therefore, to protect us, we are told to go in a cautious way. But that is for us. No bearing on reality. Reality is reality. He's by himself and for himself. It's like, hey, does it exist or not? Well, so I just came one day with Arun Prabhu over here to the vegan festival that Anandamoyi and Vedura Krishna Prabhu put up. And a distinguished, there were many people. I was just standing there, and then I think he was either a pastor or someone like that. He came up to me and he said, so who is your God? So I just looked at him and said, if I tell you about my God, will you tell me about your God? So he was like, yeah, sure. I said, we don't do that. What I believe is there is only one God. So then he smiled, because usually these things are like always. Then he said, well, then can I ask you a serious question? And then I said, sure, you can ask me. And he said, what is soul? These are exact words. He said, what is soul? And then I told him, it's a unit of consciousness. And then he smiled again and he said, well, he says, it appears I'm going to have to come to class for that. I'm like, you're welcome. This is where we gather together and we all come together and discuss and try and learn. So things that I didn't know what he was going to ask. He didn't know anything, but it was all very harmonious. He was happy. He had prasadam. he blessed everyone and he went happily with his family and daughter and everyone his way. So our interactions are always like that, copacetic, sympathetic. The environment is always favorable. We will always see things by our perception, but perception is very far from reality. So our real religion is to adjust. Proper adjustment is our real religion. And if we do that, really, we have everything. There is nothing from the other side that is lacking. We have everything at all moments, and not just like at this moment, at all moments. So we're simply being a cooperating and willing unit, not trying to learn or do things that are impossible or any kind of gymnastics. We're simply nimit matra bhava sabyasachi. We're just being instruments and proceeding in that way, in a harmonious way, not disturbing anything. Because he alone knows the cause of all causes, knows the cause of everything, not me. And so, with that, I would like to. Does the boss say yes? You're the boss. Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivajagacharya Varya Astotra Sata.
Yes, Prabhu, you can do one kirtan.
Yes.
No, let's do Jai Radha. We never do that one. Like in general.
Bhakti Sundar Govinda Goswami Maharaj.
Jai.
Jai.
We'll do Jai Radha.
Like two of me?
We'll clone you.
Oh. I was like, I can't do that.
We'll clone him. We'll clone him.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, technology in progress.
I'm excited to see it.
Very dangerous.
He probably stopped thinking, don't give him these ideas.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasa Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan
Basi Jaya Viranagari Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Viranagari Jaya Jaya Gopeshara Vrindavana Jaya Jaya Gopeshara Vrindavana Jaya Jaya Krishna Sakha Batu Dvijara Jaya Rama Ghata Jaya Rohini Nanda Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Basi Jata Jaya Dvija Patni Jaya Naga Kanyaga Bhakti Tejahara Pailo Govinda Charan Shira Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Shyam Jaya Jaya Rasa Leela Sarva Manora Jaya Jaya Rasa Leela Sarva Manora Jaya Jaya Jala Rasa Sarva Rasa Parakiya Bhave Jaha Rajte Prachar
Yeah, let's do it.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hari Hari. You wanna do Hari Hari? Okay, that's it. Nice. Yeah.
Harihara?
You wanna do Hari Hari? Hari Hari? Or no?
Yeah, last one, last one.
Okay.
Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namah
Haraya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namah
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah
Madhavaya Keshavaya
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana
Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohan
Giridhari Gopinatha Madana
Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra
Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra
Adhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Sari Gaura Bhakta
Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunatha
Sanatana Vata Raghunatha
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Nichai Gosai Kori
devotees ki jai. Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol.